WWE finally brought a PLE to Italy, and by the end of the night, two champions survived controversy. One rising star changed her career forever, and one booking decision is already dividing fans. That is what makes this show so interesting. What's up, friends? Welcome back to WrestRush. Clash in Italy just went off the air from Turin, and today we are breaking down everything. What worked, what felt off, and what WWE was actually trying to do with each decision. The show opened with the Undisputed WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes defending against Gunther, and the match itself was absolutely main event level. Both men pushed each other to the limit. Cody landed the pedigree, Gunther answered with a powerbomb, Crossroads connected, and somehow Gunther still survived. Then came the finish. Cody hit the Cody cutter, followed by another Crossroads. Referee counted 3, but Gunther's foot was under the bottom rope during part of that count. Rhodes lifted it at the last second. The referee never saw it. Now here is where the real analysis starts. WWE chose controversy over closure. Whether that was the right call depends entirely on how much patience fans still have for rematch setups, because Gunther left Turin furious, and from a character standpoint, that reaction was perfect. But from a booking standpoint, the question is simple. Did Cody need this kind of finish to keep the title, or did WWE just complicate a championship reign that was already working cleanly? Gunther sold his outrage brilliantly. He will absolutely get a rematch, and maybe that was always the point. From there, Rhea Ripley defended the Women's Championship against Jade Cargill in a rematch from WrestleMania 42. Jade came in looking better than she did at WrestleMania. More aggressive, more calculated. She controlled long stretches, dominated Ripley physically, and genuinely looked like she could win this. But Charlotte Flair came down and neutralized Jade's backup. With the numbers equalized, Ripley found a way and retained. And here is the honest observation. Jade looks strong in defeat again, but eventually there comes a point where looking strong in defeat stops feeling like progress. WWE will need to start converting these performances into actual major wins. Charlotte Flair's involvement clearly sets up a Flair versus Cargill program next, which has real potential, but Jade needed this win more than she needed another well-fought loss. That is just the reality of how momentum works in wrestling. Then came Brock Lesnar against Oba Femi, and this is where the booking conversation gets genuinely complicated. Femi beat Lesnar at WrestleMania in dominant fashion. That win was supposed to launch him. Tonight, Lesnar needed 7 F5s to finally keep Femi down, and that detail actually matters. Nothing about this performance suggested WWE sees Oba Femi as anything less than a future centerpiece. This was WWE using Lesnar's name to give Femi a platform while keeping the door open for a trilogy. Whether that justifies putting the loss on Femi's record right now is a debate worth having, but the intent behind the booking is readable if you look at it carefully. The moment of the night came next. Sol Ruca against Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Sol came in as the underdog. Becky tried to throw her into the ring post early. Sol bridged out of it. She matched Becky's intensity the entire match. Sol Snatcher landed. New champion. Sol Ruca absolutely earned this moment. The crowd in Turin felt it, and so did anyone watching. But now comes the harder part. Winning a title is one thing. Proving you belong at the top of the division consistently is another. Tonight was the statement. What happens next will define whether this becomes a real run or just a feel-good moment. WWE has the talent. Now they need the follow-through. The main event. Tribal Combat. Roman Reigns defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Jacob Fatu. The fight went into the crowd. Reigns used steel stairs, the mighty moonsault. Reigns kicked out. Fatu took a spear through a table and still got back up. Another spear. That was finally enough. Roman retained the championship. But oddly enough, Jacob Fatu may have left Turin with more momentum than anyone expected. He survived things that should have finished him. He refused to stay down, and that character detail matters for where his story goes next. After the match, Reigns told the MFTs watching from the crowd that they were next, and then Fatu was forced to fall in line and join the bloodline. Is Fatu genuinely joining, or is WWE planting the seed for something bigger months from now? Because if they handle this correctly, there is a betrayal story buried inside that moment that could become one of the more compelling arcs on Raw this year. If you watched Clash in Italy for great wrestling, WWE delivered. If you watched it for shocking twists, the show was more restrained. Overall, this felt less like a destination and more like the start of WWE's next chapter. Subscribe to WrestRush for WWE Explained Beyond the Results, because sometimes the most important thing in WWE is not what happened, it's why it happened.